Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're doing a cinema rig build for the Sony A7C, and you might be thinking that's kind of crazy because the C in A7C is supposed to stand for compact. Well, I'm here to tell you that the C in Sony A7C actually stands for cinema. It doesn't. Actually, it does stand for compact. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, quick little plug, you've probably seen that this summer I started a production company, so I've been doing photography and video work, working with brands and clients and doing promotional material. And for all that work, my Sony A7C has been my main daily driver. This has been the camera that I've used, and I've really loved working with this camera. I'm working on a fairly big job right now, and as soon as that check comes in, I'm looking at buying the FX6 or the FX3. I'm stuck between the two, but until then, my Sony A7C has been my cinema camera. I've had to kind of rig it out to bring it on shoots because you don't want to show up to a shoot with just this in your hand because then you don't really look as professional and as serious about what you're doing. And regardless of what people say, impressions do go a long way. And when you show up to a shoot that a client's paying a lot of money for, they're expecting kind of a cinema camera, big camera. So this is how the camera pretty much stays when it's stripped down. So I do always have the small rig cage on there. It just adds a little extra grip. It doesn't add too much extra weight. And I just feel a little more comfortable that if I ever drop my camera, it'll land on the cage and not the actual body. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do to rig up this camera is we're gonna add our top handle on. So this top handle is a small rig handle. It's got a little rubber grip up top. I like that little bit of added security as opposed to just metal. And then all small rig products actually come with their own little tools to help you set them up. So after I get these kind of finger tight, I'm gonna grab the little Allen key and tighten these down. All right, next up is this little each-rig magic arm with 1/4-20 screws. And it's also got the rosette mount for the Zhiyun Weebill S, and I'm sure other gimbals have this rosette mount as well. But it comes with the option to switch this out for one of them, or just to have your 1/4-20 screws. And this screws in nice and tight. And now what we're gonna do is unscrew this red handle, and that loosens the ball heads here. So then we're getting this as close down to the body as possible and as compact as possible, but then we still get the benefit of a ball head up here to maneuver our camera monitor. Next up, we're gonna mount our monitor up top here, and I'm actually using the monitor right now to monitor the A cam, so I'm going to have to stop record, switch that, and then put it on here. So we're gonna do that right now. All right, now this monitor here is the newer FW600 5.5-inch camera monitor. It's got peaking, LUTs, waveform, audio monitoring. This is one of those Sony NP batteries, so this is the beefy boy, and then we got the slim version. I have two of each of these, so if it's a big project, I'll toss on the big one. Small project, I'll use one of these slim batteries. All right, so for now, let's mount this onto our camera. And again, on the bottom here, it's got a little 1/4-20 screw, so this perfectly screws into our magic arm here. All right, next up, because this rig's kind of looking a little ridiculous, it feels like we need a little something up here. So what we're gonna do is toss on our matte box. Right here, this is the Tilta Mini matte box. I love this thing, it looks so sick. And also it's a little functional as well. And the Tilta matte box comes with a bunch of screw-on adapters, so you can mount the clamp-on matte box directly to these adapters as opposed to needing traditional rails of a lot of other matte boxes. So now we just screw in this filter. All right, now look at this matte box. So this thing just opens up, but right here, this just clamps on to the front of this filter, so you don't need to screw this in aside from the adapter. So you can take this on and off real quick. And now we just use this little knob on the side to tighten down our matte box. And now look at that, we have a little matte box on here, so this can block flaring from the sun. All right, now the reason why I picked the Tilta Mini matte box as opposed to the one that comes from Small Rig is because the Tilta Mini matte box actually has internal threads on it, so you can actually screw in your standard circular filters inside the matte box as opposed to having to use the rectangular glass that normally slides into matte boxes. But now this would be our rig if we're using an external audio source, but even if I am recording audio separately, I like to have a backup microphone on the camera itself. So I'll just stick a shotgun microphone onto the rig itself, and right now we have really no mounting points. So we screw on this hot shoe adapter onto the 1/4-20s, and then what we can do is mount this to the side of the rig, like so. And what we're doing here is we're actually mounting it forward as well, so that helps with our audio source. What I will say is you want to mount this on the same side as your audio jack because the cord's not going to be long enough to reach around the rig without getting an extension. So this just keeps it using the included cord. So what we're going to do now is mount this on the outside of the rig. All right, so now this will be our cinema rig for the camera, and I like using this if it's on a tripod or even if I'm walking around doing handheld. but most of the time I will strip down the mic and then put the backup mic on a different cam or something, just so I don't have it on my handheld rig. But already now, from that tiny little compact mirrorless camera that was our brains of the operation, this thing is built out to look like a cinema camera, and that's kind of impressive. Now, I like using prime lenses in general just because I think it does give off a better image quality, but I also do have the Sigma 24-70 f2.8 lens, and the reason why I don't necessarily use that on this rig is with the matte box, it is again a screw-on matte box, so you're using your front filter thread, and when you're doing that on a zoom lens, this matte box is weighing down that zoom and it's putting pressure on it as you zoom the lens. So I don't like using that. I just like using this rig with my prime lenses. Now, the main benefits of this rig are going to be in the added size and functionality. The added size and weight is going to help with your handheld footage, because when you add more weight onto your rig, you're removing those micro jitters that you normally get holding a tiny little camera. So this gives you the option to have that nice smooth handheld footage, not using a gimbal or anything. Plus the little IBIS inside the Sony A7C helps again smooth out that footage. And if you're using a stabilized lens, again, that's going to help you out. Alright guys, I hope this video helped you out. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you want to see more of me, subscribe. I think this stuff's kind of enjoyable and cool, so if you want to see more of this type of content, let me know. Anyway guys, that's it for me. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.